All right, let's plug in and overload the system. Today, we're not just talking about some guitar tone. Oh no, we are deconstructing an electrical phenomenon. We are cracking open the high voltage manual to one of the most legendary sounds in rock history. This is the blueprint for the Brown sound.
Okay, let's get right into it. That sound, it's just so much more than distortion, isn't it? It's the sound of an amplifier being pushed to its absolute breaking point, and then being pulled back from the brink with some seriously brilliant, kinda unorthodox electrical engineering. And look, this isn't just about raw talent. This is straight up physics.
So, to really get the sound, you have to understand the machine. In part one, we're going to look at the hardware, the actual physical gear that Eddie Van Halen wired together to create his signature sonic explosion. Now here we go. This device right here is the heart of the myth, and, the magic, the Variac. For years, Eddie told everyone he used this thing to raise the voltage, which, by the way, sent countless guitarists off to literally fry their amps. But the real secret? He did the exact opposite. See, a Variac can't create voltage. It can only turn down what's coming out of the wall. And this is the magic number. 90 volts. That's the sweet spot. Standard US wall voltage is about 120 volts. Eddie would crank it all the way back to 90, so he wasn't feeding his amp more power, he was starving it. And that, right there, is the core concept of the Brown sound. So here's the why. By dropping the voltage to everything inside the amp, the plates, the bias, the filaments, you're basically creating what electricians call a brownout. The amp gets spongier, more compressed. It forces the power tubes to saturate and distort at a much lower, more manageable volume, creating this incredibly touch-sensitive feel we call sag. It's the physics of gain. Of course, this whole voltage trick, it doesn't work without the right arsenal. First up, the iconic Frankenstrat, a guitar he literally built himself, combining the feel of a Fender with the raw power of a Gibson PAF humbucker in the bridge. Then you've got the engine, a stock Marshall Plexi Superlead. And finally, for that signature swirl, an MXR Phase 90. Okay, so we've got the hardware laid out on the workbench. Now let's dial it in. Part 2 is the blueprint, the exact settings and, this is so important, the signal order you need to turn these parts into that legendary roar. This is a question that defines so many classic guitar tones. It's not just what gear you use, it's where you put it in the chain. And with Eddie's rig, the placement of one specific pedal is the difference between an iconic tone and just a cheesy effect.
And here's the secret sauce. Eddie ran his Phase 90 before the amp's input. See, when you do that, you're not phasing a distorted signal, you're distorting a phased signal. The effect gets baked right into the gain itself. It creates that subtle, chewy, almost vocal-like thing you hear on tracks like Eruption. It's not an effect on top of the sound, it is the sound.
We've got the power. We've got the signal path. So now it is time to dial in the fire. This is the frequency formula on that Marshall Plexi that carves out the Brown sound. Okay, here's the code, coming at you rapid fire. First, the bass, set it to 4. You gotta keep that low end tight and focused when you're running this much gain. Next, the powerhouse frequency. Mids, they are cranked all the way to 10. This is absolutely crucial. It's the very core of the tone's powerful, articulate voice. Okay, treble is dialed to 6. That's just enough for some aggressive bite, but you roll it back so you don't get any of that harsh ice pick fizz. And finally, presence gets pushed all the way up to 8. This is what adds that searing top-end edge, making the whole sound feel like it's about to leap right out of the speakers. So here it is all together, the complete EQ cheat sheet. Bass at 4, mids at 10, treble at 6, presence at 8. That's the code. But there's still one more piece to this crazy analog puzzle. The final secret weapon. Eddie used a Maestro Echoplex EP3, but get this, a lot of the time, it wasn't even for the delay. The real magic was in its preamp circuit. Even with the echo turned off, this little preamp adds a slight boost, its own unique EQ color, and a little bit of its own organic grit, pushing that Marshall just a little bit farther into total saturation. So that whole chain is a masterpiece of analog engineering. But let's be real, who has a vintage Plexi and a rare Variac just lying around? So let's look at how we can reconstruct the sonic blueprint using the tools we have today. This is the digital hack. Recreating this is actually pretty direct, but the key is using quality software. First, you gotta start with a high-fidelity digital model of a Marshall 1959 Super Lead. The better the model, the closer you'll get. Second, you need to dig into the deep or advanced settings and find the control that says SAG, or Variac, or AC voltage. Lowering this is what gives you the feel, that dynamic, touch-sensitive compression. And third, and this is so important, you place a plugin that emulates an Echoplex EP3 preamp before the amp model. Remember, it's not just a boost, it's the final bit of tonal glue. I mean, you can see it right here. In a modern digital audio workstation, you can visually build this exact signal chain. You put the EP preamp boost right into the Plexi model with the SAG control turned down, and then out to a speaker cabinet emulation. You have total control. You can save presets, A/B different speakers, automate changes. It's a level of precision Eddie could have only dreamed of. You're following the exact same blueprint, just using code instead of circuits. So that's the manual. From high-voltage alchemy to a super precise frequency formula, the Brown sound is really just a testament to creative engineering. It proves that a groundbreaking tone isn't just about what you play, but having a deep understanding of the gear you're pushing to its absolute limits. So now the question is, what's next? This manual is just one in a whole library of legendary tones. What iconic rig, what sonic blueprint should we take a runch to and dismantle next? Let us know in the comments. Now go dial in some fire.